Hey there, founding champions. Welcome back. It's been such a long time. 4, 5, 6 days? Well, it's been so long. I gotta adjust my camera. I gotta adjust everything. Look at this. Look at this. Set 2 is about to come out. We are finally getting a lot of spoilers. There has been a lot of just complaining about not getting every single card. And I think that they have decided to fire back with posting a lot more spoilers, okay? So that people know exactly what they're getting, what else is also in the set. And so we're going to go, without further ado, we're just going to go ahead and start right in. And this will be spoiler video number 13. I know there's been like no other content, and a lot of viewers is like, I don't want to see any more of this. They see so much already, but look, we're just going to ride the wave, or the little stream, I guess, until Set 2 comes out. We're going to get sweet deck videos, and we're going to get all this, and then it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome, guys. So, without further ado, like I already said before, Bloodseeker, Sanguine Arch removal, heal, removal, spell, champion, Wizard Warrior, and you gain a health this time. It's no minus on this Wizard Warrior. Cost 9, it's a vampire, which is very important. When a spell or unit controlled by this champion is removed, remove the highlighted spell or unit. So when one of your things get removed, one of their things are going to get removed. Not too great of an effect because they'll just simply not put anything in front of this, but it's irrelevant. It's relevant. It does things and stuff, and it is a Wizard Warrior that gains you health instead of takes it away. And I think it's very good. The card in total, competitive, it's kind of competitive. It's not very competitive. It's kind of competitive. The flavor's amazing. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that art. Look at that art. Look at that. Look at it. I like it. Look at it. Next up, Cursed Glaive Acolyte. Damage to your opponent increases by 1 for each highlighted spell. I feel like I've done this card before. Have I done these cards? Anyways, it can do up to 7 damage. It's kind of like the chaos version of the destruction, big tooth, whatever it is. So not too much to say. Uncommon, pretty nice. It's not gonna see much point. Next up is the Accursed White Knight. So now you can have 4 White Knights in your deck. It could be your White Knight deck, your little SJW deck. Anyways, Risen ability, any unit damage. So it can be turbo rotation. It's a Risen Warrior 0/3. Hero attack. If this champion controls a unit and gain 1 health. I mean, that's kind of cool. I mean, if you're playing against another deck that's trying to deck you out, another death deck that's trying to deck you out, being able to gain 1 health every turn, it's okay. Well, almost 1 every turn. You got to control the unit. So I wish it just said gain a health. It would have been a lot more playable. Not too playable in my opinion. Next up, I gotta move the screen up. Emerald Life Swarm, XXX, then 2. Gain health, move units from your discard pile to your hand. Unfortunately, it's a rare. Waiting 3 turns or whatever, and then gaining just 2 health and getting 2 cards back just to your hand. We already have a card that's like this that puts them in play in death. So, I mean, obviously anybody can play it though, so it can't be too overpowered, but it's not looking too bright for this card. Competitive, not very competitive at all. Let's see, Haunting Chainrasp Horde, a very flavorful card, by the way. Look at that. Look at that. I don't know who wears clothes like this on a daily basis, but I guess these guys do. Stacking Spirit. Damage to your opponent. If this unit has support 2, the damage is done with Rend, which is nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get that average damage. It's a stacking unit, so with the new rules, you have to have a stacking base. If the new rules aren't into effect, this card gets even better. That's a common, not too much to expect. Next up, Rune Maw Bear. Finally, an ogre that's on 2 corners, a unit. That's good for ogres. But then let's look at the effects. Damage to your opponent, remove a highlighted spell. So it's not going to be too big. There is an ogre that champion that every time you play an ogre does 2 damage. So you will get that 3 damage on a short fuse here. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's a common, so not too much to expect here. Very good sideboard card if you're playing ogres. But I think in this set, there's not going to be too many ogres to go mono ogres, and it'd be very competitive deck at this time. Next up, Winter's Endurance is a spell. Gain health, so you're going to gain 4 health. Restart if a highlighted enemy deals damage to you. I don't think that's very good. Now, you can gain 4 over and over and over again, but I don't think your opponent's really going to let you do that. Because they're only going to deal damage in that one area, or it's going to be continuously restarted over and over and over again. So I'm not too big on this card. Not too big at all. I don't think there's too much to say. It's another common. Next up, Living Woods, gain health. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're going to gain 7 health over time on this card. I think it's pretty good. It's a Garen spell, so Realm of Life. That's okay. I don't think it's going to see too much play. I think Death might play it and things like that. It's not too competitive. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying this is a bad card. It's not competitive very much. And it's not going to see too much play either. If gaining health hardcore like this ever becomes really too good, this card could very well see play. But there are also a lot of gain health cards that are better than this. I do like it how it gains 3 at the start, then 2 and 2. Gaze of Volcatrix. Damage to your opponent. Rotate the highlight into its final corner. So this could potentially be very good against people that are trying to stack things, things like that. So you get to have them exhaust on their turn. Damage reduction, get those out of there. It's kind of hard to time, though, being like that. So I don't think this card will see very much play, nor do I believe it's very competitive. Next up, we got something a little juicy, a little uncommon order card here. 0 or blank, really. 1, then 2. Beast Elf, very important. Razor Shell, Harpoon, Alopex. Highlighted units are dormant. Damage to your opponents. Very good, very good. So it's going to dormant their units and then deal 3 damage. So it's very like the other Stormcast units that are locking down lanes. This isn't a hard lock. They're still going to be able to play that unit, and just have it kind of chill out there for a minute, or stop that unit from doing anything further, at least. But it is a very good card, outstanding card. And with it being Beast and Elf, the only way to make this better was Beast Elf Stormcast or something insane like that. But this is a very insane card. You're going to see this is going to see play. You're going to need 3 of these. You're definitely going to want to play with this card. And with that Beast tag, there is a champion where on its last corner, it can, what does it do? That's something else. But they have a turbo rotation elf champion that gets to play this. Very, very good. Very good. And with Beast, it goes with Lotan very well. Next up, Feed the Maw. 3 damage to your opponent. If this card is discarded, deal 2 damage to your opponent. So we do have a few cards that will discard cards from our hand. That's very good. Now, for when Death is playing against you and they're shuffling cards from your hand back into your deck, that's not going to trigger this, I don't think. Or really, that's not going to trigger this. But we do have things like, what's that, Arachnarok Spider? So play Arachnarok Spider, discard this card, deal 2 to them. So, it does have some application. It could see some play. Not insanely competitive, but we also have that new champion where if you discard cards, it does 5 damage. Well, you're now going to do 7 damage. So that's going to be a real archetype. They created a very simple play-around archetype, and that card's definitely going to be in there. So in that deck, very competitive. In other decks, obviously, you're not really going to play this card very much. Next, because there's also an ability that does, 2 damage, gain 3 life, or 3 damage, gain 2 life. So, there's not really a reason why to play this over that, unless you are discarding cards from your hand. Next up, this card is insane, guys. This card is insane. I had a video, it was like, Morden's going to be a thing now. Morden is definitely going to be a super thing, okay? Damage, then 3. It's really good. It's really, really good. And if you get to still play stacking units with a non-stacking base, that X is going to be also very, very good. So now there's a spell that's going to buff this guy up. That's why it's so good. You basically play the spell, play this guy. He's going to do that 1 right away, and then it's going to do 3 here, then 5. And I think that's pretty good. 9 damage, that's not bad. And it's very simple, just 5 damage. It's just really good. The effect that's balancing this card out is having that X at the end. I think that's going to hurt it more than it's going to help it. Though with stacking units, if they don't change the rules, it is going to help it a little bit, just a little bit. Next up, I like how it just like expanded. All the cards expanded across the screen. I think that's pretty cool. Anyways, so next up we have a stacking orc. XX2 then 3. Damage to your opponent. If this unit has support 2, highlighted champions cannot deploy units. So we do have a control card for orcs. It's not going to stop them from deploying on these 2 X's, but it will over here. And it's support 2, so it's not going to get that cool effect of stopping them from deploying units if it's a base card. But you will get that 5 damage eventually, and I think it's pretty good. I think it's a good card. I think it's a great addition to the deck, maybe. But it's a good option at least. Excuse me, I shouldn't eat that taco. Excuse me. Next up, Solo Shielded Sequitor. Card's bad. Next. Okay. 3 and 2. Damage from highlight units cannot exceed. That doesn't even do 5 damage. It just can't exceed. So if they're about to do 4, it does 3 instead. But a lot of things kind of do 2 instead. I guess this 2 over here is kind of good. This card's bad. I would rather just play damage reduction or whatever else. This card is not good. Next up, Gorglaive Blood Warrior XXX then 3. Remove any highlighted units. Damage to your opponent. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. It's going to do 3 damage to them. It's going to remove their guys. I think that's pretty cool. We do have Bloodthirst, so we do have another unit that says, or another champion that says do additional 2 damage on its 4th corner. So that's fine. It's not. It's just a common. It's obviously not the most competitive card. I think it's a good card, though. It's a great option. So I don't think it's going to see too much play, though. It's going to see a little bit of play. Next up, Magebane X, another Chaos card. X3. Remove a highlighted spell. Damage to your opponent. That's fine. I think Destruction has a card similar to this. I mean, it's going to see about just as much play. You know, we're going to see a few more spells in this upcoming block, but it's not going to see crazy amounts of play. It is what it is. Next, Spectral Lure. Gain health. Move up to that many spirits from your discard pile to your hand. That's okay, cool. So you're going to gain 2 health and move 2 guys back to your hand potentially, and yeah, that's what's going to happen. I think that's fine, especially in a deck that might want to be discarding lots of cards, or you know that ability that puts 3 dudes into your yard. You'll be able to go get them back again and gain some health while you're doing it. That's fine. Not too horribly competitive, but still great card, I think. I don't think it'll see too much play. I've been saying that about a lot of cards, but I think it will see play, just not too much. Next up, Dracoline Evocator. Dracoline Evocator? Whatever. X1, 1, and then 2. Units cannot be deployed by wizards. Oh, this unit cannot be deployed by... I can't say that. It's a common. This unit can be deployed by wizards. So it can be deployed by wizards, which is pretty nice. It gives you extra flexibility. Damage to your opponent increases by 1 if there is a highlighted unit. So if there are highlighted units to the catty corner left and right, you're going to do extra damage. And that can be pretty good. And a Stormcast on 4 rotation, pretty good with the Avor Starstrike decks. So I think it's a good card. I think it's going to see some play. And it's good. It's mildly competitive. It's going to see some play. Or a lot of play. Next up, Hex Wraiths. Another death unit. Stacking Spirit. We're getting a lot of Stacking Spirits finally. We can flesh out that deck. X, 0, 1, and 1. Run damage to your opponent. Increases by 1 per support. And I don't think you're going to have... You're not supposed to. I mean, wasn't there... it said... Cowardly Grots. On the 0, it didn't do any extra damage, even though it had 2 support. I think it should, though, right? It should, but it doesn't. Hopefully that changes. If you're a rules guru, please comment and tell me what's up, what's going on with this. So it could do quite a bit of damage with 3, 4, then 5, or just 4, then 4. Excuse me, 3, 4, and 4. So we can do 8 damage. It's okay. It's just there. A lot of spirit stackings are very just subpar, but they kind of do their thing. And the last card we'll go over, Bolt of Tzeentch, XXX9. Can only be played by Demon Champion, damage to your opponent. Yeah, I mean, this is what Chaos likes to do. We've seen how playable the ones in the past have been. We'll see how playable this one is. So guys, I know I haven't made a video in a long time. I do want to thank you for watching. You're awesome. You're amazing. I hope you have an outstanding day. If you see some more cards to be spoiled, then we will go over those. I hope you have a great time. And again, thanks for watching.